Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we will be talking about HTML tables. So, tables are basically a way in which you can manage your content and systematically display it to your user. Before we start, if you haven't watched the last few videos of the series of tutorials, please click on the top right corner of this video and have a look at them. So, let us start. So guys, without wasting time, let us go straight away to the code. So HTML tables are something really simple if you understand how to make them properly. So to start an HTML table, first we'll just make the file. I was thinking we'll make the table in the contact.html page. So first of all, let us make that page. Let's go to file and new file. Now let us save that, Command S. Now we will save that in the same folder in which our index.html file is kept. So let's go to documents, HTML1, and here itself let us save it as contact.html. Remember guys, since this file is contact.html, the link which we have created in the index.html file should be the same, so by spelling also. So yes, it is the same. So let us go back to our code and let us start with HTML tables. So to start an HTML table, you need to just write the table tag. So simply just open the tag and write the table tag, and don't forget to close the tag. So there are two items which are there in the table, the rows and columns. So the horizontal part in a table is called the row, and the vertical part is called the column. So in every HTML table, the row is something which you need to define first of all. So let us start with the table row. So tag for table row would be the acronym of the same, which is TR. So let us write that and close the tag. Now, we have to indent it. Like always I've said, it's always important to indent it because HTML is not space sensitive, but it indentation helps you to understand and make the code readable. But if you go to other coding languages like Python, they are space sensitive languages, and if you haven't indented the code, it will show you an error. So it is important that you get the practice of indentation from the basics itself. So yeah. So in every row of a table, there are columns. So if in your table you want 3 columns, then you will have to, in this particular row itself, you need to write 3 columns. For columns, you will need to write table divisions, the acronym of table divisions, which is TD. So let us write that. And since you want 3 columns in this row, we will write 3 TDs. And yeah. So in this table, let us define something. Let us just write the numbers. So let us write 1, that's 2, and that's 3. Now let us save this code and open the code in our browser. So let us go to documents, HTML1, and contact.html. Let us open with and Google Chrome. So if we open this, you can see that this is a table. So if you can see clearly, there are 3 columns. In this table, you cannot see the borders of the column because the border is something which you can put in a table only with CSS. So CSS is something which we'll be covering in the later part of this tutorial after finishing HTML, which I think we'll be completing in the next video. So let us make another column, so, another row. Sorry. So to make another row, you just need to write another tr, close that tag, just go back and make another table division. Let's make 3 of them again. You can just copy and paste the same thing, but it's better if you write them. Yeah. So let us go here and let's write 4, 5, 6. So let us save this and let us go back to our browser and refresh this. So as you can see, there is another row created in this table now, and that table now has 3 columns. So there's another thing in tables, that if you want a part of the table which is a part of the table, let we can say, that is not a part of the table. That doesn't make sense, right? Let us put it in this way, that one row has more columns than the other row. That is possible with HTML. So if you want, we'll try that in this row. Let us make another table division and write that 3.5. So let us save that. Let us go back to Google Chrome and let us refresh this. So you can see that there's another column in the first row of this table which is visible, but there is nothing in the next row. So that is something which can easily be done in HTML tables. So now, so another thing is that in some tables, if you see, the first row of the table will contain the headings of the table, right? So as you can see on your screen right now, you can see that in this table, the first column is bolded, right? So to do that, we'll go to our code, and the first row, the row will remain the same, but the table division tag will change, right? So to do that, instead of TD, we will just write TH. The TH is the acronym of table header. So if you remember it like acronyms, it will be very easy to remember them. So let us change them to more left. So let us save our code and go back to our browser. And if we go back, you can see that the first row, the columns in the first row have been bolded. I want you to make the table which is on your screen right now. The main point is that the first row is centered and bolded, and the next 3 rows, the numbers are listed down. So it's not necessary to get the borders because I haven't told you how to get them at the moment. So please pause the video and try to get this table right. If you don't get this right, it's okay, because there are very few people who can get tables right in the first attempt. So yeah, please pause the video and try them out. The solution will be displayed on your screen in some time. The solution to the problem is very simple. So let us start with the table tab again. So the first row in this table is the header. So let us start the table row. Let us not forget to indent it, and let us get the enter. Now the first one is the header. So let us start with the th tag, and there have to be 4 of them, right? So let us copy and paste them. Yeah, so let us go to the first one, and it says num1. Just a second, it's all in the capital. So num1, then num2, then num3, and then num4. So yeah, the next 3 rows have normal columns. So we just have to put normal columns there. Oh, I still have them in the capital. So actually HTML is not a case sensitive language. So even if you put it in capital, it won't. There will be no difference. So, but still, for the sake of it, let us put it in small, right? Let us start the tr again. This one will have normal columns. So let us just put table division tab, and there have to be 4 of them again. Let us copy them and then paste. Yeah, so this will have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let us copy this whole thing because we need the whole thing now. And then let us paste this. This will have 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then let us copy this. You get the point, right? So yeah, I'll just finish this. If this will be indented, then 9, 10, 11, and then 12. So yeah, if we save this and then go back to our Google Chrome, and refresh this, now we can see the table is as we liked it. The first row has columns which have bolded titles, so num1, num2, num3, and num4, and all the others have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So yeah, what if you want a table like this? Here, the telephone part which we can see covers 2 columns of row 1. For this, you use the attribute Colspan. So Colspan is an attribute which you use if you want to cover 2 or more columns of a row. In theoretical terms, it specifies the number of columns a cell should span. So let us go back to our code, and if you can see here, I have used the Colspan attribute and set it equal to 2. So if you can see that Colspan is a really very simple and a very useful attribute. Let us go back to Google Chrome and look at this. What if you want a table like this? As you can see here again, the telephone part covers 2 rows here. In the other one, in here, the telephone part covers 2 columns. Here it covers 2 rows. So here we use the attribute rowspan. In the first one we use the attribute colspan. Here we use rowspan. So the rowspan attribute specifies the number of rows a cell should span. So if we go back to the code, we can see that here in row span, in the second row, the table header covers has the attribute row span, which I have set equal to 2. So that should cover our part of call span and row span. Here is an exercise for you. As you can see in this table, the name part covers 2 columns of row 1. That is the main part of this table. So here you will use what you have learned in the last few minutes. So yeah, please pause the video and try to make this table. And the solution is on its way. So here if you see, the name content covers 2 columns of the first row. So if we go back to our code and open it here, you can see that I have set for the name, the attribute I've set call span is equal to 2. That means the name content will cover uh, 2 columns of the first row. Here is another exercise for you. In this exercise, I have the phone numbers, the phone content is actually in the second row, and it is covering 2 rows. So please pause the video, take your time because this is a little complicated than the last one. Take your time, and if you don't get it, the solution is on its way. The solution to this one is a little more complicated than the last one. So if you look at this table, the TH for the phone is in the second row and not in the first row. People do get confused in that a little bit. Just remember that you wanted the bolded part of which is the phone in the first column of the second row, and you will get it accordingly. You also have to remember that the phone is content is covering 2 rows and not 2 columns. So since it is covering 2 rows, we use the attribute row span and not call span, and set the row span attribute equal to 2. So let us go back to our code. So you can see here that I've set the row span equal to 2 in the in the second row, and in here I have the th in the second row and the first column. So there's just one thing left in this video about HTML tables, and that is the caption tag. Before that, I wanted to tell you that in the contact.html page, we will be putting our contact. So the rowspan.html which I have here, I will copy and paste that. The text is already in the description, so you can just copy and paste it, but I will recommend that you write it yourself. So here I have already copied and pasted the rowspan into contact.html. Let us save this and then view the contact.html in the browser. So let us go to the browser and refresh contact.html. We can see that the name and the Robin Cook, the telephone numbers is already there. So it is your wish if you want to put the Colspan or Rowspan. I've linked both of them in the description. And then there's another thing in this video, that is the caption tag. In some tables you would have seen that there is a title over the caption, over the table. So to get that, you just need one tag, and that is the caption tag. So after the table tag here, let us with the caption tag. Let's just write that down and then end the tag. Let us write, let's say, contact information. So if we save this, Control S, and then go to our web browser and refresh this, you will see that the contact information title is there over the table. So if you want to bold it, you can use the B tag. You will need to end that after the contact information. So let us cut it and paste it here. So if we save this and go back, you can see that the contact information is now bolded. So that is it for the video. So to sum it up, in this video we talked about tables. The table tag, the tr tag which is table row, th tag which is table header, and tt tag which is table division. Then we talked about Colspan and Rowspan. Colspan specifies the number of columns or cell spans, and Rowspan specifies the number of rows or cell spans. And then we talked about caption tag, which gives a title to the table. So that is it for this video. In the next video, we'll be talking about HTML forms, which are a very useful part of HTML, and then we will also be talking about images, videos, and iframes. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Wait for my next video, which will be even more interesting than this one. Thank you and bye.